The Knickerbocker storm, the historical blizzard that ended in tragedy.
In the recorded history of Washington, D.C., the Knickerbocker storm remains unsurpassed, both for the amount of snow it produced and for its devastating toll on human life. The collapse of the roof at the Knickerbocker Theater, which took 98 lives, many of them children, was described by the Washington Post as the greatest disaster in Washington history. The storm itself was remarkable for its persevering intensity, generating snowfall rates of greater than 1 inch per hour over the 24-hour period from Friday afternoon January 27 to Saturday afternoon January 28. 25 inches fell in that span, establishing a 24-hour snowfall record. All told, the storm laid down 28 inches of snow, more than any other storm in more than 130 years of official Washington, D.C. weather records. Sub-freezing temperatures in the days preceding the storm meant every flake stuck. The cold weather had become established by a blocking pattern, common prior to and during the Great District of Columbia snowstorms. In such a pattern, a traffic jam of sorts sets up in the atmosphere. An estimated 22,400 square miles, 58,000 square kilometers, of the Northeast United States were affected by 20 inches, 51 centimeters, of snow from this snowstorm. Snowfall was quite heavy in Maryland and Virginia. Richmond, Virginia recorded 19 inches, 48 centimeters. The measured snow depth at the main observing site in Washington, D.C. reached 28 in, 71 centimeters, while an observer in Rock Creek Park a few miles to the north measured 33 in, 84 centimeters, with 3.02 in, 76.7 millimeters, of liquid equivalent. Railroad lines between Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. were covered by at least 36 in, 91 centimeters, of snow, with drifts as high as 16 feet 4.9 meters. This snowstorm is the biggest in the history of Washington, D.C. since official record-keeping began in 1885, although it is dwarfed by the 36 inches, 91 centimeters, of snow in the Washington-Jefferson storm of January 1772. At the height of the storm, a crowd of between 300 and 1,000 people had packed into the city's newest and biggest movie house, the Knickerbocker Theater, for a showing of the silent comedy Get Rich Quick Wallingford. The roof of the Knickerbocker Theater, which was designed by Reginald Wycliffe Gear and owned by Harry Crandall, was totally flat, allowing massive quantities of snow to accumulate during the storm. Eventually, the heavy, wet snow split the roof down the middle, bringing down the balcony as well as a portion of the brick wall. Dozens were buried, 98 theatergoers were killed, and 133 were injured. The horror of what transpired is captured in this excerpt from the Washington Post, originally published on January 29, 1928. An eyewitness to the catastrophe, a man who had just entered the theater and who barely escaped with his life, said that a hearty peal of laughter preceded the falling of the roof. "Great God!" he exclaimed. "It was the most heart-rending thing I ever want to witness." In the lobby of the theater, firemen and policemen and strong civilians worked as best they could in an endeavor to extricate the wounded and the dead.
If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel.